having our organizers run around. And so what we did is we turned to our partners across the nation. Siembra in North Carolina, in the first Trump administration, had launched a hotline. And so we learned all about how the hotline worked. And within a month, we had a statewide hotline operating in Massachusetts. fascism is coming, and we know that we are on the front lines. So thank you to all of you for making this possible, and thank you to all of you for throwing this beautiful concert to raise money for Lucé. And I'll just quickly say one little bit, just so you know, Neighbor to Neighbor and the Workers Center. So Neighbor to Neighbor, this is our 30th anniversary. We started, 30 years ago. And what we were doing is we were organizing for universal health care. And yeah, you're all like, yeah, you didn't get very far. Right. We realized pretty quickly we weren't getting very far. And so we changed our methodology. We were organizing wherever there were activists, like you and me, right? In Northampton and Amherst and Cambridge. And then we realized we needed to be organizing in the cities and towns where working class and Black and brown and immigrant community members were the majority, and the state representatives were not voting in their interests, right? And so we realized if we were building power, that then we could hold legislators' feet to the fire. And then the other piece is that Neighbor to Neighbor, I'm actually wearing the t-shirt today, has an action fund. This is our C4. So